Hi, and welcome to the Health Begins with Mom show. I am Dorit Palvanov, your host. On this podcast, I will share insights and interviews on health, parenting, and explore the question of what does it take to thrive as women, wives, and mothers. Now, let's get going with today's episode. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Health Begins with Mom podcast. This is Dorit Palvanov, your host. Today on the show, I am sharing a replay of an Ask Me Anything session I've done today over inside of my Facebook page. And the title of this live video was Women, Food, and Sex. And I've also given out one free spot to my course, to the Feminine Current course. So it was a lot of fun. And so the intention for this session was to give you ladies the answers to the questions that you've had about the course. I've had so many questions. I've had so much interest around this course, but there was also a lot of confusion. There was a lot of kind of like I felt like in general women weren't really clear as to what exactly are they getting in the program. Some women thought that this is a weight loss program. Some thought that this is like a sex therapy kind of course. And so today I made sure to go one by one and address each question with as much detail as I could so that it's clear, and when you are joining this course you are very set in terms of what you're actually going to get, what to expect from this course, from this whole experience, what you can expect from me. Also in terms of the time investment, how much time is actually required for you on a weekly basis for the duration of the 6 weeks of the course. I've had questions about why sex is important to the overall health, about in general, if you don't feel like you're worth investment in yourself. I covered that as well. Somebody asked what it means to live in the flow, and I responded to that as well. I also spoke very specifically about who this course is for, what kind of woman am I looking for, and I also was very clear in terms of who this course is not for. It really is important for me to make sure that this course is for women who actually value their sacred work at home, as a mom, as a wife, and also their sacred work in the world, whatever it is that they're doing. And so I really want to be clear that this course is for women who know that they matter, and that it's just really a matter of and a question of choosing yourself, saying yes to yourself, giving yourself permission, and then working towards what makes you better, because I know that you have this deep longing to feel more and more connected to your partner, to your spouse, to your husband, and also I know that you want to absolutely rock it as a mom. You want to feel like you're successful as a mom, like you're not failing, like you're not screwing your kids up, like you are feeling in control of your emotions, that you're not completely screwing them up, that you're not that the kids are not going to need therapy for years after they leave your home. I know that this matters, and so it matters to me too, by the way. And so I made sure that I addressed all of these concerns, and I addressed. Somebody asked if this is a weight loss program or is a sex therapy course. I talked about that as well. Of course, I talked about what's included in the course, how the course is actually going to look and feel like. If this is actually going to help you. If somebody asked if I can guarantee results, I addressed that as well. Also, there were a lot of questions around trust, around self-trust. So women who don't really believe in themselves, that they can follow through this program, because apparently they've tried other programs in the past and they didn't work. So I addressed that as well, which is a legit question to ask, by the way, and thank you for asking. Somebody also asked a question about what to do if she doesn't trust her husband. That was a big one. So I addressed that as well. What to do when your husband is not into this kind of stuff, and if he's not into personal development, if he says no when you want to join to this program. So I addressed that as well. What to do if you don't have time for it. If you really want to do it, but you don't have, like you just don't have the time. You work full time, and then you're with the kids, and you have the household, and you're just, how to basically fit this course into your busy life. Even though you know you need to learn this kind of stuff, but actually how to fit it in. I addressed this as well. Obviously, I addressed the question of what to do when you can't afford it. And many others. Hopefully, this will give you a clear sense of what to expect in the Feminine Current course. I really want to make sure that when you get involved with this course, you know what's going to be, how it's going to feel, what you need to expect of yourself, what you need to expect of me when you're joining a program like that. And if, by the way, there are questions, you still have questions, even after all the questions I am going to address today, if you still have some questions, please let me know. You're welcome to email them to me, to Dorit at healthbeginswithmom, or I've also opened my calendar in the next 3 days to do just that. So it's, by no means any, you're not obligated to anything. It's just to get on the phone with me and ask me, how, whatever it is that you need to ask, if you feel like I haven't addressed your concerns or questions on today's session. Okay, so hopefully this is helpful to you. Hopefully this is of service to you, and hopefully I will see you on the other side. I cannot wait to meet you and to get to know you better. All right, with that said, let's get into today's session. All right, we are live. Hi, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. This is a live Ask Me Anything session. We're going to be talking today about women, food, and sex. And I will be giving away one free spot to my course. And so, who is excited? Me! So let's do this. Before we begin, just give me 1 second to share this video. All right. And then we'll get started. Of course, now my computer will be slow. And so, who is excited? Me! Okay, we don't want to hear that. Okay, so let's share it on my timeline. I hope you've brought your questions because I am ready. I am ready to answer them all. Okay, so this went on my timeline and this is inside of my group. Awesome. Cool. Okay. Beautiful. I think we're done. We're ready. I am ready. Are you? Awesome. Make sure you pop in and say hi so that I know that you are here. I really want this is for you. This is for you. If you have any questions, if you are like on the border in terms of, should I join, should I not join this course? This is your opportunity to bombard me with questions and just, ask whatever it is on your mind. Like I said, I will be giving out a free spot to the Feminine Current course by the end of today. And by the way, if you're looking at me and you see me looking down, that's not because I'm ignoring you, and it's not because I don't have ethics when I talk to people. No, it's just because I have my computer and my notes down here, and I really want to make sure that I'm on time, because I have a tendency to just talk and talk and talk. So this is how I'm keeping myself on track.
All right, so like I said, I will be giving out today a free spot to the Feminine Current course by the end of today's session to one lucky viewer. So in order to get this free spot, all you have to do is, number one, you need to share this video with your tribe. If you can do that, this is going to be so helpful to me. It helps me to reach more women, more wives, more mothers who need to hear this message. You may have someone in your news feed who really needs to hear this today, and I obviously don't have access to them. So if you can do that, that would be super appreciated. So be generous. And then the second thing is you must be live when I announce the winners. So make sure you stay tuned until the end, okay? You can't just go on in and out. In order to get this free spot, you need to be here the entire time. All right, so like I said, this session is called Ask Me Anything for a reason. I want you to bombard me with questions that you want to ask, but you never do because maybe you're afraid or maybe because you're shy. I know some of you feel a little triggered or maybe a little bit shy about this topic, about talking about sex so openly. So no worries, I get that. So in that case, if you do want to ask me something but you're shy to do it publicly, you can always just ask me via Messenger. Either you can send it to me via Instagram or via Facebook Messenger, and I will make sure to answer your question generally without mentioning your name. Okay? All right, so before we jump right into today's Q&A, let me ask you. I'm opening up this honest conversation about this topic because I'm seeing way too many women put up with less than fulfilling life. I'm at the point in my career when I'm like, enough with this already. Why is it like this? Why do women need to suffer so much? And I want to ask you blank point today. How long are you going to put up with this? How long? How long are you going to live in black and white when you could be living your life in full color? When you could be enjoying your life in color? When are you going to live a full life instead of a half life? I know you. I know you're a busy mom. I know you're a good wife. I know you're a busy career woman or working on building your career. I know you take care of your aging parents. I know you have a million things on your mind. Me too. I'm not different. I'm not any different than you. But I want you to stop for a second and ask yourself, excuse me, when are you going to matter? When are you going to matter? When will you start taking care of that beautiful body of yours? Is it going to have to get sick or break down before you pay attention to it? When will you find out what your body is actually capable of? What are you waiting for? Tell me, what are you waiting for? When will you start choosing yourself over everyone else? Over your kids, over your husband, and yes, I'm saying it openly and bluntly like that because it matters. Women want and deserve great sex. That I know for sure. But we feel like we have to hide it for some very strange reason. Women, the truth is that women need sex. It's not only want, it's actually a need. It's a biological, physical need that we have. But we don't just want good sex. And you have to agree with me here. We want great sex. And that's why erotic and romance books are a $1 billion industry. Chances are you, or maybe someone you know, has read 50 Shades of Grey with a different book cover on it. I know I did. There's a reason women love the Outlander series. So I want you to stop. I mean, yeah, reading these books is amazing and I love reading that too. But the thing is that this can actually be become not only a fantasy or something we as women fantasize about. This can actually be in real life. It can happen for you in real life. It's time to put that book down, turn off the TV, and start living this in real life. This is available for you. I promise. I know this is. This can happen for you too. You don't have to keep seeing others enjoying themselves and getting pleasure from their body while you're just watching from the sidelines. And I want you to also know that this is not selfish. This is radical self-care. This is called leading with feminine power, which you have and I have and all the women around you have. This is our birthright. We're born like this. We are encoded for this stuff. Your sexuality is an extension of you. It is a layer of your health and vibrancy as a woman, as a wife, and as a mother. And I don't want you to keep shoving this to the corner because you have a million other things that are quote unquote more important. This is important. It is important because when you are alive, when you are giving yourself permission to have pleasure as a part of your day to day, then you can imagine what's possible for you in your mothering experience, in your experience as a wife, in your experience as a career woman, as a businesswoman, as just a human being who moves through life. Imagine what happens. You will, it's like you will have that light in your eyes and your body will very well communicate that to the world. And that is what I want for you so badly, so badly. Okay? Women, here's what I know from doing this for the past 7 years. Women who don't have a healthy sex life are not living life to the fullest. Simple as that. This is just the reality. This is the truth. And I'm on a mission to change that. Sex is a part of your human experience and pleasure is your birthright. And it's time for you to own your life. It's time for you to start trusting your body and reclaim your sexy. So let's get to it. So as you know, I've just recently launched a brand new groundbreaking health program for women, and it's called the Feminine Current course. And I've been getting a ton of questions from you guys about it. And really this program is designed to give you the tools that you need to thrive as a woman, wife, and a mother. Now, I know this is super vague, and what does it actually mean? Which is why I'm here today to answer all these questions for you. So today, what we are going to be talking about is your first steps towards unleashing your drive and desire for sex and pleasure. Who doesn't want that? I know I do. And I'm just like you guys. I am a mom. I have 3 kids. I'm a wife. I'm a business owner. I have all of those things, but it matters to me. I have decided to make myself matter. And I can tell you that my life today is completely different than what it was even 5 years ago. Okay, so let's get through these questions. We have a lot to cover, so let's jump right in. I received a ton of questions from ladies over at my Instagram account as well. If at any point of today's session you feel like you have something you want to ask, please feel free to just drop them here in the comments. Or send them over to me via Messenger. Like I said, I know this is a triggering topic, and a lot of us are kind of like preferring to see it from the sidelines. I get this, I understand, but I want you to feel welcome. I want you to feel like, you're a part of this. This conversation is important for you, and I'm doing this for you. So I'm glad to be of service. And if you have something to ask, please just send it over to via Messenger on Facebook to me, and I have it open, so I will see it. Okay? Cool. So, yeah, like I said, if you're shy and it's hard for you to talk about it, don't worry. I still want you to ask. Okay, lady, this is your life. Don't be that woman who only lives a half life. Don't be that woman who only lives as a half woman. You deserve to live your life to the fullest. You deserve more, and I know that you want more. So let's talk about how to get more in a way that feels sustainable to you as a woman, but also as a wife and a mother. Okay, so the first question that I received is, I feel like my body now belongs to my kids and not my husband. Now, when my husband wants sex, I feel like, ooh, are you kidding me? I don't want anyone touching me right now. I need a break. So what do I do? Love this question. So women, I want you to know that this is normal. This is normal for somebody, whether you had a vaginal birth or a C-section birth. Birth is a major bodily experience. It's a major bodily event. And women who go through birth many times, not all women, but many women, actually the majority of women, experience something that is called birth rupture, or in other words, it can also be called birth trauma. Okay? And that is how it should be. That is how it should be. And if this topic is interesting to you, I mean, I am so passionate about this. I've brought many experts about this topic over to my podcast, and we talked with Dr. Britta Bushnell, who talked about the transition of birth and being transformed by birth. So all of this is amazing, but if you're really interested about this topic, you must read the phenomenal book called In an Unspoken Voice: How the Body Releases Trauma and Restores Goodness by Dr. Peter Levine. He talks about how wild animals heal from trauma in nature, and that just blew my mind. So basically what happens, if you think about, he gives the example of a tiger. So if a tiger in nature, walks around and all of a sudden feels like they're afraid, or somebody is intimidating them, right? So they experience this fear and trauma. What happens is after the attack, after the trauma is done, their body, it's a physical anatomical response. They will just drop to the ground and start shaking vigorously for about 15 to 20 minutes. That's how mammals release trauma in nature. After that, this animal gets their consciousness back, and they continue with their day. Now, we human beings are mammals too. We actually also have that response. I read in an article somewhere in some medical journal or somewhere that as human beings, when our body is being cut, so in a surgical procedure, when our body is being cut, the body naturally begins to shake. It's a natural response that we have. It's biologically, we've been created like this. This is how God made us, to help us release energy, release that kind of energy and that kind of a trauma out of the body. But because obviously this is not, safe, and a doctor cannot perform a procedure when you are vigorously shaking, so they had to give us sedatives and anesthesia in order for the body to stay calm. Now I get that, but what happens is that this human returns back to life, and this energy, this trauma still gets stuck in the body. And so we as women who understand this, right, going through a traumatic event such as birth, I mean, this is so painful. We are not taught how to release that kind of trauma out of the body. And so what we do, what I recommend for you to do, if you do feel like you have a remnant of that still left inside of your body, of like if your sex organs are completely shut down and it's been going on for longer than 2 months postpartum, then you need to look at this. This is important. Don't ignore this. Don't just say, well, I'm done with sex. Oh, well, that's it. I'm done with, having pleasure through sex. No, don't just let this slip. Understand that this is a normal response and that there are things you can do. So some of the things that I recommend for you to do are things like sexological bodywork. You can just Google sexological bodywork. You can try some embodiment work, some yoga. Yoga, for me, it was absolutely instrumental in my healing postpartum. Pelvic floor physiotherapy is especially important if you experience pain after birth. Orgasming, oh my gosh, orgasming, think about it, right? The shaking, when we orgasm, this is how the body releases stored energy, and that is now normal. This is healthy. This is why it's not a matter of wanting. It's not a matter of it's nice to have. No, this is actually a physical response that you were born with to have a healthy life, so that these kind of energies are not staying trapped inside of your body. So orgasming, the process of self-cultivation, I spoke about this a couple of times over at the 5-day challenge that I ran last week. Self-cultivation, also known as masturbation, yes, is also important. I know, I just said masturbation live on Facebook Live. Yes, ladies, this is important. And I know you're looking at this. I know you're hearing me saying this. And I know maybe you're shy and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so uncomfortable even thinking about this. But this is important. This is important, which is why I've decided consciously to bring this conversation out. Okay, you can try things like dance and movement. Anything that involves the body will help, okay? Your body of yours is capable of so much, and it's time for you to see how it's here to serve you as opposed to screw you over, which I hear over and over again from the ladies that I work with. Okay, so I hope I answered this question. If you feel like you don't want sex anymore and you're just repulsed by the thought of sex, then I think, first of all, you need to understand that this is normal. There's absolutely nothing wrong with you. You haven't lost anything. You haven't lost your ability to climax or anything like that. It's just that there is this trauma, emotional trauma, and it's just stored in the body and it needs to be released. Okay? Second question. So somebody said, you say that sex is important to our overall health. Why is that? I love this question so much. Okay. So I guess what you're asking for is that you want some research and some data to back this up. Okay, so let's do this. Number 1, sex helps to relieve stress. And a busy mama knows how that feels, right? The stress, this constant anxiety, this constant rush that we all have. So many moms that, are a part of my community, they are feeling uptight, pressed, squeezed, and sucked dry due to the never-ending responsibilities that we have. And this is not a one-off. This has become our day-to-day. This has become normal for us. Now, when you have sex, your body releases a magic hormone called oxytocin. And that helps you to feel warm, helps you to feel relaxed, calmer, and like you are floating, right? I'm sure you are all very familiar with this feeling. So, sure, you can reach for the wine, you can reach for food, you can reach for TV, for the gym. I know a lot of us exercise the stress out, social media, etc., to soothe yourself and relax. But why would you do that when your body knows how to relax only if you ask it and only if you give it permission? Okay? Now, before we go further, I want to set something straight. I am not talking about using sex in an addictive manner. This is not what I say. Okay, I don't mean it like that. What I'm talking about here is using it intentionally and deliberately as one very powerful tool that you have to take care of yourself. Sex is a form of self-care. Prioritizing sex is a form of self-care. If you see yourself, going a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, sometimes 4 weeks, months without orgasming, without, engaging in intimacy, that is not something to be ignored. I want you to pay attention to it, okay? So Studies show that when you orgasm naturally and regularly, your brain spends less time in fear and anxiety. How wonderful is that? How nice would that be for us to at least some time to not be, in this constant state of fear, anxiety, and stress, right? Another reason, prioritizing sex contributes to healthier marriages and less cheat rate. Let's be honest here for a moment. Men need sex. You know this, I know this, we all know this. Now, here's the thing. You need sex too. Maybe a bit less, but you still need it. If you feel exhausted and cranky most of the time, how do you think that your husband sees you? Do you even think it's appealing sexually? No, it's not. How do you think your children see you? Right? Think about it. What legacy are you leaving for them? That life is hard? That life is too much? That happy marriage is a fantasy? This is bullshit. Sorry for using this word. This is bullshit. This is not true. These are just limiting beliefs that I've also had in the past and have decided to be proactive about letting them go. Okay, I was tired of saying no to sex night after night. I was afraid that my husband will have to find someone somewhere else to get this need met. I was afraid that we will get a divorce because, if this goes on for longer than it should, then it becomes a problem. It becomes a need it becomes an unmet need, and that can really jeopardize a relationship. I was afraid that I have lost a part of myself that I used to be so proud of. Before having kids, I loved sex, and I was a very sexual woman, and I'm sure you watching this or listening to this, you can relate to this. I was afraid that my body was damaged and that it's no longer able to climax. I knew that sex is a part of a healthy and connected partnership, and I wasn't willing to let that sleep. Now, researchers in Germany decided, here's a cool research for you, they decided to conduct an experiment in 2012 testing the power of oxytocin. So remember, we spoke about this hormone that is released when you orgasm. So they believe that high doses of this love hormone would cause men to consider going outside of their relationships. So they gave oxytocin to a group of heterosexual men and introduced them to a very attractive woman. Now, the subjects were asked to determine when the attractive woman was at an ideal distance or in an uncomfortable distance. So here are the findings. Those who took oxytocin and were in monogamous relationships ended up distancing themselves about 4 to 6 inches further than those who took oxytocin but were single. Now, the researchers hypothesized that instead of oxytocin causing coupled men to cheat, it instead compelled them to hold on tighter to the bond that they've already formed with their girlfriends or wives. Pretty cool, right? How amazing is that? So the more connected to you he feels, the more of his needs are being met at home, and he will be less compelled to do stupid things like cheat or use external substances on himself or you. So if your sex life doesn't work, if it needs work, put effort into that so that your marriage continues to thrive. Okay, want more data? You got it. Okay, so this next reason will blow your mind. And again, for those of you who are just joining, we are talking about why sex is so good and good for your health, and why you should be prioritizing it. So here's another reason. Husbands whose wives have orgasms regularly are healthier. So research shows that men get health benefits from pleasuring a woman. In one study, men claimed that they receive health benefits by just pleasuring a woman. In a New York Times article on One Taste, and a One Taste, you can Go ahead and Google it. It's an organization in San Francisco that is devoted to the practice of orgasmic meditation. How amazing is that? So in one study, in an article, in a New York Times article, so a man confessed that fixing his attention on a tiny spot of a woman's body improves his concentration at work. Woman, do you get what I'm saying here? Like, this is incredible. Your body is so powerful that when you harness this power, both you and your partner win, right? It's a win-win situation. I don't know about you, but I am not willing to let that go. I'm not willing to live my life knowing that this is possible and never actually having it available for me, right? I cannot live my life knowing that I was born with this potential but I have never learned how to use it, okay? So another reason, and again, for those of you I see, people are joining always, constantly joining to this live. We are talking about why sex is healthy, why it's good for you. Another reason is if you are struggling with sleep. Did you know that 30% of US women use orgasms to help themselves fall asleep? Yes, it's true. Now look, I'm Canadian, I'm not from the US, but I have to say that I do this too, and it works every single time. Part of the reason women struggle with sleep is due to an inability to turn off the switch and relax. Again, so going back to this constant state of stress. So when you orgasm, your brain releases the happy hormones. You know, remember we spoke about oxytocin and some endorphins. Hi, Marina, thank you for joining, my darling. And that helps you to calm, to relax, and drop into a deeper sleep. Okay, another reason. Are you depressed? Are you sad? Is this becoming almost like a normal thing for you? Did you know that semen resulting from the male orgasm could be an effective antidepressant for women? Yes, lady, I'm not making this up. There was actually a study done at the State University of New York in Albany that showed that women who had sex without condoms had fewer signs of depression than women who used condoms or refrained from sex altogether. Now, of course, I am not endorsing having unprotected sex, which could lead to an even bigger problem, or an STD, sexual transmitted disease, or an unplanned pregnancy, which could be an even greater reason for depression. What I am saying here is that if you are in a long-term relationship like marriage, sex is a healing tool that I don't want you to ignore. Okay? More reasons? Okay, healthy sex and orgasming regularly alleviate pain, help you to live longer, stimulate your brain, help you look younger, and actually, check this out, orgasms actually get even better and deeper as you age. So don't think that, if you're aging and you're becoming older, sex is kind of like something of the past, something, just that should be reserved just for youth. No, it actually becomes the potentiality that you have for pleasure only grows as you age. Okay? So I hope I answered this question. Sex is super important for your health, and I do not want you to miss this one out. Okay? A sip of water. And we will continue. Okay. Another question I received. What does it mean to live in the flow? Like, what kind of flow, right? So, because I talk about the feminine current and living in alignment with your feminine current, and living in the flow means living in alignment with your feminine current. Okay. I'm going to try to be really concise here. As a woman, you are a cyclical being. Cyclical being meaning because your hormones fluctuate with time, and we talked about this over at the challenge. If you haven't listened to the challenge and you are here over inside of my Facebook page, go and look up challenge day number 3. I spoke about the menstrual cycle and about how our body is is just so, it's how, especially as female, we are connected to the moon, and we have, just like the moon, we have 4 phases in our cycle. And so living in the flow, it's just understanding, it's almost like you're plugging yourself back into your natural rhythm, right? Following your natural cycle of your hormones, of your energy, and also even, getting this, why do I call this a health program? It's because the way you eat, the way you exercise, the way you socialize are all very different in each one of the phases. And you need to know this so that you can feel stronger, so that you can feel more energized, and so that you can have more desire for sex and pleasure. All of this is just a part of this big piece that is called you, right? And you can never disconnect these pieces from the whole, from your entire being, right? As a woman, you are a holistic being. So that is what it means to live in the flow. It means tuning into the natural rhythms of your hormones and your energies, and then using food and movement of the body, and also knowing how to socialize and when to socialize. When is the time to be more connected with the kids? When is the time to kind of a little bit, step away from the kids? When is the time to, listen to your husband? When is the time to kind of like retreat away from him? It's this constant back and forth, and understanding how your rhythm works makes your life so much easier. This is why it feels like you live in the flow, because there's no more shame, there's no more guilt, there's no more nonsense. You will not keep wasting your precious life energy on nonsense like that, okay? Because you will understand that, oh, this is the phase that I am at right now, and I'm just giving myself the permission to move through it, and I will re-encounter it in the next phase, okay? It gives you so much confidence and gives you an ability to trust yourself and trust your body, as opposed to feeling like it's constantly betraying you or screwing you over. Okay, so this is what I mean by living in the flow. Another question is that I got is, why didn't our moms tell us this stuff? Oh, this is such a good one. Okay, again, I can never really know, but what I assume is that they just didn't know. Okay, you don't know what you don't know. And from my own experience, my mom also didn't know this stuff. And now that I am living in alignment with my feminine current, and my life is so rhythmical, and so I feel like I have this flow in my life. My life is completely different than my mom's. And I always ask her, Mom, how were you when you were in your mid-30s? And my mom, she shares with me how she felt that every year that she becomes older, life just becomes harder. And she feels like her body is just constantly betraying her, and constantly, like, she has various symptoms that she doesn't know ever, how it's gonna hit her, or when is the next time something is gonna drop. And so this is another thing that living in alignment with your feminine current, it's gonna give you. It's gonna give you the sense of living your life like you're constantly keeping the pulse, like you're constantly paying attention, and you're building this health team for yourself, because your health matters, right? Because here's the reality. As women, it is the truth, we are more volatile, we are more sensitive. Our hormones, the gut, our brain, our psyche, along with our emotional and mental systems, are all very sensitive to the environment. Things like environmental toxins, skincare, food, water, and even energetic toxicity, stress, etc., all those things, they affect us very, very, very deeply. And so they bombard us all day long. And so we need to understand ourselves on a deeper physical level, so that we can then help ourselves and ask for help in time, before it becomes too late. Okay, so this is my answer to why our moms didn't tell us this stuff. They just didn't know. But my message to you is that, you don't have to be, like your mom. We live in this day and age where information is readily available. And it's really a matter of choice. It's a matter of knowing and deciding that you matter and that you don't have time for bullshit and nonsense, and then just raising your hand and say, just guide me through the process, teach me, show me, and then thriving from there. Okay, another question is, so can you tell me more about your course? Who is this for? Gladly, I'm happy to do so. So so this course is for kick-ass women who are done, capital D-O-N-D, who are done struggling. Okay, this course is for wives and mothers. I want to say there are many courses out there geared towards women, many health courses, but this course really takes it to the next level. As wives and mothers, we don't live in a vacuum, right? We have dependents who take a lot of our time and energy, and this needs to be addressed and taken into account inside of whatever health program you are embarking on, right? So for this very reason, I have designed this program specifically for women who are also mothers and also wives. When it comes to teaching you about food and health and your gut, the recipes that I have designed inside of this program are super easy and simple, because I know that you have picky eaters, and I know that the last thing that you need right now is to cook multiple meals for the kids, to accommodate your children, and then maybe your husband, and also yourself. I know that I would not want to be a part of that kind of a health program. I really would want to be involved in a program that is very much geared for women who are also mothering and are responsible for feeding other little people. And so this is very much a part of this program. This is also designed for women who are in a committed relationship, meaning that you are hopefully in an interdependent relationship versus a codependent marriage or relationship. Because you need to know how to communicate what you're going to learn with me with your partner. And in fact, my husband and I recorded a full video where my husband and I, well, he's the one who does most of the talking. He actually talks to your partner, and he teaches your partner how to live in how to understand your cycle, how to understand your 4 phases, how to understand your feminine current, and how he actually also benefits from that. So this is a really cool perk that we've included with this program. Okay, so especially because this course touches your sex life, right? Your husband needs to be involved as well. So I will teach you how to pass this information on to him as well. This really matters to me because, like I said, we as women, we don't live in a vacuum. It's not just us. We have dependents, we are in marriages, we are in relationships, and it's not enough to just know how to take care of yourself. It's also very important to know how to enroll your loved ones into your health mission, okay? This is for women who cannot afford to live their life at half capacity. Having low levels of energy, being grumpy and groggy for too long. I remember when I was in this situation, I was so depleted, I was so dry that I had zero time for my work. I really didn't have enough energy for my kids or to show up the way I want to show up for them. And so basically then what happened from there was, like I said, like living at half capacity. It was kind of like half-assing my life. This is for women who cherish and value their sacred work at home and are not willing to be nice at work, but then come home and unload shit over to the kids and the husband. it really matters to me. It really matters to me. I believe in the family unit, and I know that your home is sacred, and I want to give you the tools so that, you know, your self-care, your radical self-care is sustainable, is fulfilling, is nourishing to you and to everyone around you. Okay? This is for women who want to understand themselves better. This is for women who want to understand how their body works, to understand their hormones better and know what to do to balance them. This is for women who want to enjoy a nourishing and enjoyable sex life with their partners, but for whatever reason, feel disconnected from them. This is for women who are tired of dieting and want to learn how to take care of their female body in a way that nourishes and helps them to feel stronger, more energized, lighter, and sexier as a woman. Okay, this is not for women who want to keep yo-yo dieting. This has nothing to do with this. Like, I will never teach you how to, lose 50 pounds just because you need to fit into that black dress next month. This program is not about that, okay? This is for women who are on the verge of a mental breakdown. So maybe you're so tired that you're afraid you'll get into a car accident because you fell asleep at the wheel. Do you scroll through your phone until it's midnight when you know that you need to be sleeping? If you end up eating junk off of your kid's plate when you remember to eat at all, when you find yourself yelling at your husband and the kids at home, but pretend like everything is great when you go out. If you're taking antidepressants and you want to get off of them, but you're afraid of the side effects. If you have this tendency of eating your feelings, right? So if you have something that's called emotional eating, this program will suit you. If you feel like you're completely out of control emotional, this program is also going to help you. This is also for women who are already manifesting physical symptoms in their body. So something like, let's say your blood work says that you're healthy, but you know something is not right. You're not physically able to keep up with your busy and rushed lifestyle. If you get sick often, or you got sick very often as a child, so perhaps your adenoids or tonsils were removed in childhood, this will suit you. If you have a thyroid condition which runs in your maternal line, if you have digestive issues and sometimes you feel embarrassed in public, right? So if you have issues like bloating, cramps, indigestion, acid reflux, heartburn, stuff like that, this program will definitely help you to address that. If you've been dieting for as long as you can remember, this program will help you. If you want to ditch the prescription pills, if you have issues with your period, so missed periods, heavy and painful flow, PMS symptoms, PCOS, etc., anything that is related to the period, this program will help you. If you've ever experienced swollen feet, acne, period problems, inflammation due to the Depo-Provera shot, post-pill symptoms, this program will help you to address that. If you've had miscarriages in the past, if you've struggled with infertility, if you exercise regularly but still gain weight and struggle to keep it off, this program will help you. And of course, if you have a low sex drive but you used to love sex, this will definitely help you address that as well. Okay? So this is the answer to who this program is for. The next question I received was, my life is fine. Why do I need this? Okay, so my answer to that would be this. Girl, you deserve more. You were meant for more. You were made for more. No one is talking about this one topic that you want to hear, right? You are longing for something more out of your maybe sex life, out of your body, out of your health, but nobody actually gives you the concrete tools how to get there, okay? Your sexuality, your body, the food, all of those things, they matter. They matter because they are those things that you do every single day, they are the ones who matter in the grand scheme of things, right? I keep hearing this all the time. Who has time for sex? Who has time for fun? Who has time for nonsense? So I'm here to call a huge BS on that. It's not true. Fun, sex, all of those things, they matter, and you deserve those things because they help you to, they are the ones that make the difference between an okay life to an amazing, exceptional life. And I want you to live an exceptional life because you're just encoded for that. So why should you get anything that is less for that? So if you're just fine, listen, if you're amazing, then you don't need this. Then keep doing whatever you're doing and keep thriving and having this amazing life. But if you feel like you're fine and you're just okay, then you might consider, jumping on and help yourself to, to get to the next level and up level. Okay. Let's talk about who is this course not for, okay? I mentioned a little bit about that this course is not for you if you want to lose 50 pounds for next month. This is not for you, okay? This is not for you also if you like complaining, if you think that taking action is for the birds. Won't work. If you like lying to yourself, this program is also not for you. If you believe that self-improvement isn't real anyway, this is not for you. If you don't need any guidance and you're totally fine, this program is not for you. If you hate groups of supportive and caring women, this program is also not for you. This program is designed for women who are conscious, who love to improve and become better and to take care of themselves, and they want to up level, and that in that case only whatever you learn is actually going to help you. Okay. Another question, is this a weight loss type of program, or is this a sex therapy course? Okay, so no, I want to be very clear. This, like I said, this is not a weight loss program. However, and this is important for me to mention, if you implement the strategies that I will teach you consistently, consistency is important, then you will lose the weight. I promise that. I can almost guarantee. If you do what I teach you consistently, then you will lose the weight. This is how the body works. Give it what it needs, and it will provide for you. It will provide for you. I've seen it in my own life. I've seen it in dozens and dozens of clients. The moment they plug themselves into this natural rhythm and natural flow that I mentioned earlier, then everything just starts to unfold. It doesn't happen quickly, but it happens over time, right? So if being lean is your normal weight, then you will get there effortlessly over time. Okay, another point, I am not a sex therapist, so this is not a sex therapy course. I am a registered holistic nutritionist and a female desire coach. So up until now, I've shared this many times, I have invested thousands of dollars in my own education and my own health and personal development. So I feel strong in both, the health world and also the emotional healing and soul coaching worlds. So in terms of percentage, the course, it will probably be something like 70-30. So the first part of our sessions, and I will cover a little bit later what's included in the course, but the first part of our sessions together will take about 70% of our time together, and they will look a lot like health coaching and nutritional education, where we will spend a lot of time talking about your body, your hormones, your poop, your food, energy, menstrual cycle, and libido. Like I said, as a resident holistic nutritionist, this is my jam. I absolutely love talking about this stuff. The other part of our sessions will take up about 30% of our time together and will include something like life and maybe soul coaching, where I will guide you through various processes depending on, of course, what comes up. But it's really designed to give you the space for diving a little bit deeper into yourself. Okay. Like I said, this is a holistic health program for women, which addresses all of you, not just a part of you, right? So food and health is important, but it's not done in a vacuum. You are a part, there are so many layers to who you are, and I want you to address those as well. Okay? Okay, so the next question. What are we going to do in this course? Okay, cool. So this course, the Feminine Current course, it's a 6-week online live group coaching program. So when I say online, that means that you don't have to go anywhere. You can do this, if you have internet connection and a computer, you can do this course with us. Even you can do this course with us even through the phone. This is not a recorded course for you to follow on your own pace. I have personally taken these type of courses before, but unfortunately they don't work. What does work is a personal touch and actually doing the work. So we will be meeting once a week for 6 weeks, and each session will be about 90 minutes long, so an hour and a half. The first 45 minutes I will take you even deeper into the 6 female markers, which we covered over at the challenge. And the rest of the time we will have a group discussion. So this is a great place to get your questions answered, as well as to get support, understanding, and love from a group of women. Okay? If you're feeling lonely and craving a village, this is it. You will have this community forever. Even after the course is over, as you will be a part of this Facebook group for as long as this course exists. Okay? So this is how the course is going to look and feel like. Now I had this question, what is included with the course? Okay, so like I said, 6 group coaching sessions, 90 minutes each, teaching you more about women's health, nutrition, and the 6 female markers. All lessons will be recorded and sent to you via email, and you will have an unlimited access to this course, including any future updates that I will have. Also, what's really cool that is a part of this program, and what really makes it different than just taking the challenge, is the female daily tracking accountability. So remember when we did the challenge over the 5 days, you used the female daily tracking sheet to pace yourself and to record, how you eat and how you feel, and your menstrual cycle and your libido and your sleep and what was it? Oh, and your poop. So all of those things you could definitely do on your own, but if you feel like you need a little bit of help, if you need somebody to help you to put 2 and 2 together, then this is a really important, really cool feature that I'm including in the program. You will also have access to a secret Facebook group where you can share your female daily tracking sheets, but of course you don't have to. And you can share your experiences as you progress with the course, as well as get feedback from me and the group. You will also have access to me via email and Voxer. So Voxer, if you haven't ever heard about Voxer, it's an app very similar to WhatsApp. It has a little bit more boundaries, so I prefer that. And so you will have access to me throughout the entire 6 weeks. Okay. Cycle syncing recipes, like I said, are also included. All recipes, and I mentioned this many times before, are all family friendly. Most are 10 ingredients or less. They take less than 30 minutes or less to make, and all of them are super, super easy. I've designed this course for busy moms, so feeding yourself will never ever feel like a chore again. Okay, and I have a really cool bonus for action takers. If you purchase this course by July the 18th, which is tomorrow, Thursday, July the 18th, you will get an exclusive one-on-one 60-minute coaching session with me. This is only you and me on this time. You're not going to share this time with anybody. And this is really your opportunity to dive much deeper into yourself, into your body, and to see how you can take care of yourself radically even more. And I'm here to help to support you. Okay, for that, spaces are really limited. I have only 6 openings for that. So please, if you feel like you're called to that, please take action fast. So by tomorrow only. Okay, another question I received is, will this really help me? Okay, so look, if you know that you are ready for change, if you're done with commiserating and suffering, and you are ready for change, then this course will work. Whatever you learn will work. As long as you stay open and coachable, you will benefit from this program. The more, however, the more you overthink it, the less likely it is to work for you. Okay, so what I want to ask you, what I want to invite you to do is just to lean in, trust the process, and just enjoy the ride. It's supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be something that is hard. It's supposed to be fun. And if you have that kind of mindset, for sure it will work for you. Okay, another question I got is, what if I don't trust myself enough to follow through with this program? Okay, now here's my question for this. Look, trust is a big topic for women. Trust or lack of it originates in fear as well as in victim mentality. So when you know yourself well enough, then you are able to trust yourself because you've collected enough evidence, right, to support that. When you don't know yourself and what you're capable of because you keep bailing out or hiding, it's really hard to trust yourself. So this is why you need to be a part of this program. This program is designed to give you the tools and the awareness to start trusting yourself and your body more. Self-trust is absolutely necessary in order for you to enjoy your sex life, right? You need to learn to trust yourself and also trust your partner. So take this course as an opportunity to start trusting yourself more, okay? Okay, another similar question that I've received is, I don't trust myself that my husband is capable of pleasuring me. I'm gonna take a breath. So this is an important question that you need to sit with, right? Because what are you really asking me? Are you asking me whether you trust yourself, or are you scared that your husband is not the right person for you? Right? This is an important question that you need to sit with. This course is not marriage counseling, of course, but you will get a chance to poke at this topic more if you haven't yet given yourself the permission to do so yet. Okay? Next question. What if my husband is not into this? Okay, I get it. It takes 2 for great sex. But I also want you to know this. It only takes 1 person to alter a relationship. And you know this, right? If your marriage is a bit shaky, it is possible to change this around 180 degrees with only 1 person taking the charge, right? This is why my company is called Health Begins with Mom, because I wholeheartedly believe that the woman, the wife and or mother has the power to change the dynamics, the relationship dynamics in her house, right? This is our power as women. So if your husband is not supporting you in this, in taking this course, that's okay, right? He's allowed to have an opinion of his own. But you have got to stop to take his opinion as the ultimate, written in stone kind of thing, right? Let me give you an example from my own life. Every single time I have invested money into my own personal growth, my husband said no every single time, right? This is not because he's not a good guy, or it's not because he's a bad husband. No, he's an amazing guy. I love him dearly. He's just different than me, right? He's also risk averse in general, and is less likely to make investments in himself unless they are small and unless he knows for sure that it's going to give him results. So every time I said yes to coaching or growing, I had to lovingly listen to his, to his opinion, and then say no to him, right? I had to choose myself over his fears and insecurities. And of course, you have to do this in a way that will not jeopardize your marriage, right? Your marriage and also your finances. Okay, next question. I have a very busy life and I don't have time for this. How do I fit this in? Okay, so I get it. You are busy. Your life is full. I don't like the word busy. I prefer the word. I prefer the word full. So I want you I want you to think about this question. What needs to happen in your life in order for you to pay attention to yourself? Okay? Do you need to get into a serious car accident? Do you need to get fired? Do you need to get cancer? Do you need to get divorced? Right? I know these are really, really blunt, but you need to think about those things, right? If you feel like you really, really want something, or you really, really want to be a part of something, but you continuously say no to yourself, then you need to ask, like, what is the thing that you are waiting for in order to give yourself the permission to, to take this chance, to take this opportunity. I personally know, actually my previous coach had stage 4 cancer. She had to get stage 4 cancer in order to finally listen and finally change, right? And so why do we need to get to that place where we get to a health crisis in order to give ourselves permission to live fuller, right? Don't be that woman who lived so much for others, so much so that she forgot completely about herself, right? What does all of this even matter if you are unhappy? What does it matter if you are constantly sad, right? None of the things that you work so hard for matter if you go to bed crying every night. It just doesn't matter. It doesn't, right? If your responsibilities, whether it's the household, the kids, your marriage, your work, if they suck joy out of you, then who's going to stop it? Right? If you feel like you don't have time for yourself, you need to stop and ask yourself, why? Think about it for a second, right? We do have time for the things that we value. So if, for example, you get a phone call from school right now to come and pick up your child because they have a fever, would you find the time? Right? What if someone passes away, someone really close passes away, and you need to go to that funeral? Would you find the time to go? Of course you would, right? So you do have the time. You're just not used to spending it on yourself, because spending it on yourself feels we are conditioned to spending time on yourself and thinking like this is indulging. And that's BS. It's not true. This has to change because you matter. You are worthy of your time. And if you don't allocate time for yourself, then no one will ever will. No one will ever do this for you, right? I promise you this. Your kids, your husband, your mom, your work, your sisters, your friends, none of them will give you time. The contrary is right? They will keep taking time from you. So you really need to learn how to, create healthy boundaries and to be super strong in them, right? It's your job to self-advocate and reclaim it for yourself. Right? In terms of weekly investment of time in this course, you're looking at about 2 hours. So 90 minutes for the live sessions, the weekly live sessions, and about 30 minutes to fill out the female daily tracking sheets. So in terms of time, it is not going to be such a huge time suck. However, I would like to encourage you to find the time and attend our sessions as much as possible, okay? Another question I get a lot is I can't afford it. Okay. So with money investment, it is very similar to investing time. You don't invest financially in things that you don't value. Similarly, the same that we do with time. We don't put time in to something that we don't value, right? So let's go through this example. Let's say you have no money in a bank and you get a phone call from your kid's school that she or he need, urgently, they need a psychoeducational analysis done to rule out ADHD. Okay? You don't have any money, right? But somehow you find it. Why? Because your child is important to you. You value your child and you value that psychoeducational analysis and what it will get, for your son, what it can help your son or daughter do, right? What I want you to get from this is that you need to be important for yourself, right? No one is going to show up at your door one day handing you a check for $1,000 to invest in yourself, with the READS program. It's not going to happen ever. If you believe that this course can help you become a better version of yourself, then you will find the money. I just know you will, right? Just like I did every time I invested in myself. I couldn't live a second more in chaos, clutter, and conflict. I wanted more. I knew that I was meant for more, and I knew that I wasn't living up to my fullest potential as a woman, wife, and mother. And so I had to change. And in order to change, I needed to ask for help, and I needed to stretch myself and finally do something that I haven't ever done before. Okay? So the question you need to ask yourself is not, what if I can't afford this, but what if I don't value myself enough to invest in myself? That is the right question. And that question only you can answer. Okay? So be honest with yourself. So you know what? Actually, let me address that for you. Now that I'm thinking about it, what if I don't value myself enough to invest in myself? Okay. Let's talk about it. Why don't you value yourself enough to invest in yourself? What is worthy of investment? Is a child of God worthy? Is a daughter of God worthy? Is the producer, the project manager, and the one who runs this whole show of your life worthy? Right? Is the flower worthy of water? Is a child worthy of its mom's love? You are all of those things, and that makes you worthy. So why aren't you worthy of investing in yourself? Right? You're not getting younger. You're not getting, more opportunities you cannot take back time. You can't go back and change and fix whatever, is not working. So why waste time? Why waste time? You are worthy. And if this is something that calls, that you feel like resonates, then just go ahead and do it. Okay? Also, I have this question. What is your refund policy? So I want you to feel really safe and clear as you decide to purchase this course. It's an investment in yourself, and it's important that you feel prepared to take the step. So there are some practices, some really gross practices out there when it comes to online courses. I know you've seen it, I've seen it too, and I don't want you to feel that way when you work with me. So here's the policy for this course. Here's a refund policy for this course. You have 2 weeks to try out the course, right? Do the work, show up to the session, send me over your female daily tracking sheets, all of it, right? You have to do the work, the entire work that is required for this course for 2 weeks. If you feel that you didn't get any value out of the course, simply send me all of your completed homework before August the 8th, okay? Please take note of this date because I will not be issuing any refunds after August the 8th. I want you to be crystal clear, okay? August 8th is the last time for refunds. As soon as you return your completed homework, you will receive a prompt refund from me, right? This complete money back guarantee is only available for 2 weeks after your purchase, and you must send me your completed homework, okay? If you're not able to show me your completed homework, then I will not able to offer the refund. So it is important, right? I want you to get started. I want you to jump in and go for it. This course, like I said, is for serious women who are ready to thrive. If that doesn't sound like you, then you may want to consider a different course, okay? Another question is, can you guarantee results? Lady, no. I cannot guarantee specific results or even an increased libido. That will be up to you and the work that you put into this course. So, sorry. Okay, and I think it's the last one. Will I want to have more sex at the end of the course? Okay, so if you follow the Feminine Current course like I have designed it, and of course my intention here is not for you to just, live your best life in the framework of these 6 weeks. No, I want you to continue living your life in alignment with your feminine current. So if you actually follow the framework that that I'm going to lay out for you, you will know why your sex drive is off, as well as what to do in order to tweak it for next time, right? So I'll walk you step by step, one female marker at a time, so that you learn to pay attention to your body and how to make sense of it all. Right? So once you do have an opportunity for intimacy, you will have a greater body awareness, and you should enjoy your body more as a result, okay? But remember, it is wholly consistency. It's not about just, doing really well in the framework of these 6 weeks. It's not that you're graded on anything. It's about learning something, learning a tool, and then implementing it for the rest of your life, right? Okay. If you have any more questions, I'm done with the questions that I've received from ladies over at the Instagram account and also through my email. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'm happy to answer them for you. Thank you for those of you who have stayed for this entire Facebook Live. So now is the time for me to pick the winner for the free seat inside of the Feminine Current course. So let me just go over, let me just see. Okay. I'm just looking at you. Okay, so the win. I'm sorry, guys. I had to scroll over the comments. And okay, so the winner for this course is Marina Moshe. That is the winner for the free seat inside of the Feminine Current course. I'm so excited for you. Congratulations. Thank you for sticking around until the very, very end. I'm so excited for you. All right. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you sharing this with your tribe, and also for sticking around until the very, very end. All right, so that's it. If you're still unsure if this course is the right for you, I've also cleared up my calendar for the next 3 days. So if you need to get on the phone with me, if you're still unclear, if you still have any other questions for me, please get on the phone with me before investing. This is available for you. I don't want you to feel like you're missing out because there was something that I haven't addressed in today's questions. You're right. I want you in that course, so please schedule a call with me today. So you can head on over to my website, www.healthbeginswithmom.com/discovery-call. And that's where you can book this call with me. If, however, you are ready to join to the Feminine Current course, then what are you waiting for? Head on over to www.healthbeginswithmom.com/feminine-current. So the way to spell that out is feminine is FEMININE-current, CURRENT. And head on over there, and there are multiple places where you can enroll from. click on enroll now and fill out the registration form, and you are in. I cannot wait to meet you and to get to know you better and to help you to live your life in alignment with your feminine current, so that you feel stronger, so that you feel more energized, and so that you have more desire and passion for your sex life, for the things that really, really matter and fill you up. Thank you so much. Bye for now.
Thank you for listening to the Health Begins with Mom show. I love hearing from you, so please post your comments and questions over at healthbeginswithmom.com/podcast. If you love the show, please share it on social media and in your real life with other moms who might enjoy this content. And if you have a burning question or topic you'd like me to hit on the show, just drop me a line at dorit@healthbeginswithmom.com. And if you love this show and really want to support it, please go to iTunes, write a review, and subscribe. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll catch you next time. Much love and many blessings.